Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Bold Unstoppable Show. I am Rochel Marie Lawson, and I am the queen of feeling fabulous. And of course, I have a phenomenal show for you today. My panelists are very esteemed. I have Aisha, Tamika, and Renee with me. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to explore the fascinating landscapes of our mind and the realities that they create. I'm thrilled to have you here with us live. If you like the show, please share and subscribe it with everyone you know, love, and care about, because this is dialogue for women about women and the issues that we face today. And we keep it real here. So if you're sensitive, you may not want to tune in, but if you're sensitive and you're sensitive to understanding more about how you can ebb and flow as a bold, unstoppable woman on this planet, then you definitely want to stay tuned. So today we're diving deep into the heart of this principle, exploring the profound ways in which our thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions shape the world we experience. With guidance of my esteemed panelists, each a beacon of wisdom and insight in their own right, we will uncover mysteries of the mind and learn how the lenses through which we view ourselves and our capabilities can dramatically alter our path in life. Now, why is this important? It's important to understand this because it empowers us. It shifts the narratives from one of passivity to passivity to one of action and one of active creation. Now, by recognizing the power of our own thoughts, we open the door to transform our lives, crafting our realities with intention, and stepping into the world in our fullest, unapologetic, bold, unstoppable potential. So, whether you're seeking to elevate your personal well being, elevate your life, enhance your mindset, have the juju to just get up and say, yeah, I'm that bold, unstoppable chick, and I am being unapologetic for it, then you are in the right place. And so let's embark on this journey together, uncovering the secrets of how our inner world shapes our outer reality and discover the steps we can take to harness this power for a life of joy, fulfillment, success, and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I like to say ecstasy, that orgasmic ecstasy that you can only get one way, but if you tap into other issues, other ways. And so today we are talking about the power of perception. Do our thoughts really create our abilities, and do they influence what we do as we travel on our path to bliss? So the first question that I want to ask, and panelists, just feel free to jump in. Whoever wants to address this, feel free to do it. Is it really the truth that what we perceive in our thoughts really is our reality, or is a vision or version of our reality? Who wants to take that?
Well, I'll jump right in. I want to start by just thanking you, Rochelle, for allowing us to be on the show today. I truly count it an honor and a privilege. And I am a firm believer that not only is this truth, but it's also fact. I believe, I heard a long time ago by one of my favorite mentors, Lisa Nichols. She says, our mind is the soil by which everything grows.
Oh.
And I believe that if it starts in our mind and we fertilize those seeds that we have planted, literally good or bad, right? Because we all love to think about, like, if we think we could think it into possibility, and we always think of like positive things, but the same is true with negative thoughts. If we're constantly thinking of things negative, that's what will grow. So I believe that statement is truth and fact. And we all know that there can be things that are truth that may not be facts, but I am living witness that our mind, being the soil by which everything grows, is both truth and fact.
I love it. Do you think, I'm going to caveat this. So, they say that our negative thoughts are a lot heavier and they actually manifest a lot faster than those positive, juicy, orgasmic type of thoughts. And, it takes time to get to an orgasm, right? So, do you ladies actually think that the negative thoughts also are instrumental in creating our realities?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and I can say that from personal experience. I mean, we have a subconscious. And when we come to this world, we're born fearless as a clean slate, and just life happens. And we pick up these conditions that are fear-based, scarcity-based, and they become rooted in our subconscious. And a lot of times we don't even realize that it's there. So we project, we start making excuses, we it derails our goals, especially when it comes to our own success, whether it's financial success, romantic success, whatever it is. How many times have you started something and you make an excuse? I'm too old, I'm too tired, I can't do this, or you're on social media and you've procrastinated. That's your subconscious acting out of your awareness and derailing your success. It's the flight symptoms that we have. Our limbic system takes in and it takes control.
So let me ask this question with regards to thoughts creating our reality. Actually, you made a really good point of, when we're born, we have no fear. We have no fear. And then over the course of, by the time we're 2, we develop fears. And some of these fears, a lot of times, are not even ours because we really haven't experienced it. It's just stuff that we hear or we see or, we're witness to or we're in the middle of. So as a bold, unstoppable woman in today's society, what do you think that we should be doing as a women, because we're considered the nurturers, to empower our young ladies and gentlemen, but mainly since this is about bold, unstoppable women, empowering our young ladies to not buy into the fear-based thoughts that are, I want to say, projected onto them, but being okay with going the other way and having thoughts that are really theirs. What would you say to a young lady, Renee? Let me give you this because you're a retired Army captain, or retired captain from the Army veteran, and I know as a lady in the military, women go through some things, right? In the military, we go through some things in life, but in the military, we go through some things, not some things. So and so, what would you say, Renee, to because I believe you have a daughter. What would you say to her with regards to our discussion about having thoughts create our reality and in the fear-based thoughts that are implanted in us, but not really things that we've experienced to cause that fear?
So one of the things, and thank you again for having me on the show, but one of the things that I think is already happening is we are debunking that whole stigma about women cannot get along, and I really like the shift that I've seen just in society is just women just like, no, I'm going to empower my sister. I'm glad we're just tearing that apart. And then to address that, so my daughter, she was being bullied. It's so funny that you said that. So she was being bullied, and it actually happened in front of me. And I had to I had to pull back as a parent. I had to be an adult. And I she didn't even know what bully was. I said, Rebecca, you're being bullied. I told her, you're being bullied. I said, do you know what that is? And I said there's several ways you can handle this, but I said the best way is, for one, be kind always. I said you don't have to act like someone else. I said even if she's offensive, I gave her the methods to take, but I said at the end of the day, so I write her a napkin every morning before she goes to school. I write positive thoughts, positive, I love you, Becca, you be good. I got this from Vernice when we were at that conference. You be bold, be courageous, all that. So I wrote that, I started writing that on her napkins. But we have to start with ourselves, right? We have to lead by example. That's how we make the shift. For one, society does have this thing that women can't get along. Once we start leading in the military, we lead by examples. We lead from the front, shake all of that. And then that's how we start you know, with Aisha, she was talking about the negative thoughts, but we project those things too. So we change the direction of everything. And I make that a point with my life, because we think more negative than we do positive, and it's easier for us to do that. You know, we literally have to work at thinking positive thoughts. Isn't that crazy? We have to
Yes.
work at being positive every day. So that's what I say to that.
You know, you girl, you hit the nail on the head with the hammer, I guess, is what. I don't know why I'm bringing up all these old isms. My grandmother must be right. They must be right here, like, right. But you're so true, because we do think negative all the time, all the time, and without even consciously being aware of that, we're putting out negative thoughts. And then, of course, yeah, I hope I don't stub my toe on the door. Dang it, I stubbed my toe on the door. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I hope I drive down this lane and there ain't gonna be no parking. Well, no, they're not. I'm gonna have to drive through a whole
Exactly.
parking lot to find parking, and you end up doing it. However, if we say, you know what, there's gonna be a parking spot right here, bam, you know, but you really have to work hard at having those positive thoughts. Why do you think we have that as women, particularly? I'm not sure how the guys handle it, but why do you think as women that we're so apt to see negative and feel negative and experience negative and have these negative thoughts versus it being the other way around?
You know, I think it's interesting. On my TikTok recently, I posted this video, a long video, and then in the like, it was maybe 7 minutes, and there was maybe 2 seconds in the video that I caught a glimpse of myself in the camera, and I said something like, "Dang, I look good," you know, like something like that, right? And there were several people in the comments that were like, "How conceited, how," like literally 6 minutes of positive, positive, positive in 2 seconds of me affirming myself. And that's what some folks caught on to. So I think women are trained to believe if we think high of ourselves, if we think
Mhm.
positive of ourselves, if we love ourselves, that we're being conceited, we're being all these things. So because we have been conditioned to fit in, because we have been conditioned to be accepted, like all the Disney movies, ever since we were little, we've been spoon fed this conditioning that you have to have other people accept you instead of you accepting yourself and you being your own rescue. So we automatically look for the negative because the negative allows us to be the damsel in distress. The negative allows us to be needed by people instead of needing ourselves. So I think it's really like a survival technique that a lot of women, our brains automatically go to the negative, because otherwise we get kicked out of the quote unquote tribe, or we're not needed by, or we feel like men are not going to need us or want us, or even other women. So I believe, and it's so funny because to those comments, I said, and do. I sure do love me. I sure and am, right? And it's so funny because Tamika 10 years ago would not have answered that. I would have took the video down. I would have apologized profusely. But I was like, no, yeah, I do. Because I do look good. Yes, I do love myself, period.
You know, that's so funny because I remember being a little girl, and I'm the only granddaughter in my generation. Now there's more girls, but I'm in my generation, I'm the only granddaughter on both sides. And I used to get asked this all, who do you think you are? Little. I was like 4. I remember, like, who do you think you are? You think you better than us? You think you know? And I was like, why do they say that? So in my mind, I kind of thought, like, yeah, I do think I'm better than the circumstances that I'm surrounded by, right? And I do know I'm going to grow up and not be in these circumstances. But it kind of, you're right. It's like programming, that we should not think highly of ourselves, because then we think we're better than people. And it wasn't like I never thought I was better than anybody. I just knew that I was better than the circumstances that I was in. And so, ladies, if you're out there watching, if you're out there, that's a new word. That's a new word for go look it up in the Urban Dictionary. No, so if you're out there watching us, and some of this is resonating with you, then I want you to take a step back and think about, where did this come from? For me, it was from my family. And you would think that, me being the only granddaughter, that they would have been like, oh, and they had the nerve to call me princess. Oh, princess, who do you think you are, princess? You think you better?
Yeah.
You know, but instead of uplifting me, it was like I was shot down. But every little girl has, I say, that tenacity in her, whether she wants to let it out or not, now or later, but it eventually comes out, particularly if you're going into child labor and having kids, it really comes out. But, you know, now it's like, you know, women are celebrating other women. And, you know, if you want to wear 5-inch heels with your, you know, two-inch shorts, whatever, it's okay, because you don't have to, you don't owe anybody anything. You only owe yourself. And if you think you're great, you're great. And if you think you otherwise, you'll be otherwise. How can we change the dialogue that our girls have grown up with, or are growing up with, that has them think that they should not be proud of their accomplishments, that they should not talk about their accomplishments, that they should not stand on that pillar of greatness and be recognized? How do we change the dialogue from, no, you shouldn't do that because you're being conceited and you think you're all that, versus, yeah, girl, come on, here's your crown. Let's celebrate you. How do we change that dialogue?
I can talk about what I do. Conscious self-awareness. I get up in the morning, I think, I meditate, I pay attention to my thoughts, I pay attention to my emotions. And if I catch something negative, I work to try to reframe it. Meditation has been a God saver, God sent to me, and me surpassing my obstacles. So I would recommend that we teach other women, teach girls to be self-aware. Know thyself, as the philosopher said.
Right. Yeah. What do you say, Renee? What are your thoughts?
So I was going to say something along the same lines, but I feel personally what I had to do was I had to heal my own hurt. I had to heal my own self so that I could honestly, and, you know, I'm from a Caribbean culture. So that's just a whole, you know, that's just a
whole other show.
That's a whole level. And, you know, it took me a minute, and it was almost like dying and reborning and being rebirthed. And to Asia's point, it was meditation. It was quiet time. It was walks, just embracing me, love, like literally learning to look in the mirror and say, I love you, you're beautiful, and just accepting my flaws and being okay with whatever it is, because that's the only way we're going to be able to impart and truly teach our younger ones, when we can actually do the work, and then we know how to guide them in, you know, through that path when they get there, if they ever get there.
I love that. You know, you just brought something up for me. Like, because I was always asked, who do you think you are? You think you better? I retracted into myself. Now, I knew I was smart and all this kind of stuff, but I became very shy. So if I didn't know you, I wouldn't engage in conversation with you. And this went all the way probably till, you know, second year of college. If I didn't know you, if you didn't approach me, I wasn't going to approach you, because in my mind, I kept hearing, who do you think you are? You think you're better than us. I bring straight A's home. Who do you think you are? You think you're better than us. So subconsciously, I was circumventing myself and staying quiet and, you know, being shy. But deeper subconsciously, I was always trying to prove myself. So, you know, I thought if I got good grades, instead of them thinking, who do I think I am, better than them, they'll be like, oh, you're so smart, or we're so proud of you. But that never happened. And so the dialogue within my own self had to be transformed and changed as well. And it was through meditation and just really tapping into, where is this coming from? And what I realized as I got probably in my late 30s and 40s was that it was a dialogue from the women that were in my life that didn't feel empowered to do what they wanted to do. So they succumbed to what was the expectation, even though it was something that they didn't want to do. And so it just, I'm so glad that I didn't raise my daughter like that. Now, I had a mouth on me, but I'm so glad I didn't raise my daughter like that, because it's very disempowering. And we got a whole generation of young ladies coming up, and we should be commanding our own empires like a queen, but we should also be supporting the other queens to command the empire, not break them down, but build them up. And so with regards, and since we're talking about this beautiful aspect of meditation, we all have done it, we all have been there. When it comes to visualizing whatever it is that you want to turn into your reality, we know it starts up here, right? But really, how effective is visualizing what we want to manifest into our realities? How effective is that with connecting with the true thoughts of what we want to create in our reality?
Oh, this is so good. I love, love, love this question. And I think that it's the visualization is so powerful, but you have to pair it with action. I think yes, right? So often women, we'll visualize, we'll daydream, we'll do these things. Just people in general, not only women, but you have to put it to action. In my community, I tell the ladies we have to have faith action steps. So what I have them do is write it down and then also put a date to it. We'll say one day I'm going to buy the red Corvette. That's me, right? One day what day are you going to have these things that you desire? And I am living proof. For 5 years, I visualized myself living in a brand new 5-bedroom home. I visualized all these things, but then I started doing things to make that become a reality. I fixed the credit. I, talked to real. Sometimes it's just a matter of researching. Like our mind says, oh, not only is she thinking this, but she's doing something to make it happen. And here I am in a beautiful 5-bedroom home. Here I am, having the life that I dreamt and I visualized about, because I also paired so I think it's a 3-part step. You visualize it, you write it down, because something magical happens when we journal. I know all of us ladies are big journalers. So you visualize it, you journal it, and then you put it to action, and it will become reality.
Oh, I love that. So y'all bringing some stuff up for me. I'm with you, Tamika, because I visualized stuff and then it really came into reality. For instance, my car that I drive, I visualized seeing the color of the car. I wanted a 750 Li. I'm a Mercedes Range Rover type of girl, but I wanted a 750 Li. I saw it. It was white. It had white rims. The windows was tinted. I looked like Beyonce stepping out in it, right? Okay. So, I visualized it. I kept seeing it. And then, I was just putting, I'm driving a nice car already. So it was okay. I was driving down the road one day and saw the exact car. It was for sale. I pulled over, got the number, ended up buying that car. But it was so true. It was like, because I visualized it, I started taking action, like, looking at cars, looking at 750s. Is it too big? Whatever. I was taking that action, and those thoughts became a reality, like your thoughts became a reality. So I do believe that visualization is very, very powerful. Now, I want to ask any one of you who want to take this. In what ways do the smallest thoughts we have the largest impact on our life and the direction we take in life? And if you can think of something, a single incident where you had a minor positive thought that led to significant, huge, beautiful changes in your life, we would love to hear that.
Well, I can take that. So
okay.
Last year I had set, it wasn't even an intention. It was really literally a thought. And I must have said it out loud because one of my friends, she heard it. So one of the things, I had a list of things that I wanted to do by the end of the year. And it was to write a book, right? And literally it wasn't one of my, in my opinion, it wasn't one of my major things to go after. So I think it was September. A friend of mine was like, Renee, we're doing an anthology. Did you want to be a part of it? And I was like, what is an anthology? I didn't know what an anthology was. So she was like, it's where, a group of women, well, in this case, a group of women were going to write the book. And I was like, oh my goodness. But I didn't even realize that it was that, because that was one thing I wasn't like fully like, there are things that you're working on, and there are things that you like, this is what I want to do. And that was one of those things. I just said, I want to write a book. And when she called me, it was later after I wrote the book, and looking back at my notes, I was like, oh my gosh, I wrote a book. I I had several speaking engagements. I said I wanted 4 speaking engagements and to be on several podcasts and all of it. So I completely agree with you, Tamika. It's the visualization, it's writing it down and taking the action. Because I also, even as a child, I used to do that. I was an athlete and just growing up. I won't say now, but I do what I can. But growing up, I used to do that, not even realizing what I was doing. And it wasn't until I started doing this, awareness piece. I'm like, wow, I used to do all of this as a child, but didn't even know it was like a thing.
Right.
So it's like I tap back into that young lady, that fierce person. Because I asked myself when I got out of the military, because I went through a phase too where I was like, I felt so lost, so out of sorts. And I was like, where is that Renee? Like, where is that soldier? Where is that fearless person? Because I lost sight of her. So it's almost like I had to just come back to, and everything just kept replaying for me. Like, you already used to do these things. And then with the awareness piece, I was like, okay, all right, I can get back there because I've done this before.
I love that. I mean, we're sharing some words of wisdom and, hopefully helping others that are watching the show understand the power that our thoughts have, good, bad, or indifferent. And the show is really all about helping us as bold, unstoppable women come together to support each other and be the arm linked sisters that be the catalyst for change to make the world a better place. Now, I want to ask this question with regards to mindset, because Renee, you dropped that in my head, and resilience. How does mindset affect our ability to bounce back from setbacks? And any suggestions you have about that? I know those watching, listening would love to hear any suggestions that any of you have with regards to that. Who wants to take that question?
I think that your mind is the ultimate place that allows you to bounce back, and you have to cultivate. Going back to that analogy of your mind being a garden, gardens have to be cultivated. You have to pull those weeds out, you have to water it, you have to get the right sunlight. Here's the other thing about our mindset and the way that it helps us to bounce back. A few years ago, I used to live next to this house that had a big field, like right underneath us. And every now and then, stuff would blow into my yard and into my garden. And then I would be like, where did this plum tree come from? Where did this? It's because of where I was located. So often we position ourselves near people and around people that blow stuff into our garden, whether it's negative stuff, it's positive stuff, into our mind garden. So we have to make sure that our mindset is being cultivated. We're pulling out weeds. Like you said, Rochelle, that's my mama's stuff. That's my grandma and them stuff. That's my aunt. I never planted that. That's not a part of the mindset that I'm cultivating. So I need to mind garden that. I need to pull out those weeds. I need to cultivate that. And then I need to water it with that meditation, with prayer, with positive eating, exercising, like all of those things in order for us to be able to bounce back. Because you cannot be strong enough to bounce back if your mind is weak and if your mind is not properly cultivated. So I think it's so important for us that the mindset piece is everything. It is everything in order for you to bounce back, in order for you to have the life that you envision.
Oh man, I love this conversation because I think this is not talked about enough, and particularly with our young ladies. And when I say young ladies, it's anybody younger than me, but it started with our young girls. There's all this social media and there's all this stuff, and they see it and they don't understand that that's just a moment in somebody's life. I can post something and you guys would think that I'm sitting having, dinner with Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't know. I'm just channeling Beyonce today. It may not even be reality. You know what I'm saying? And so our young girls see that and then they compare themselves to what they see on social media. I'm so glad, to be honest, that I didn't grow up in the social media. I'm so glad that there weren't even no computers when I was growing up. We got outside playing into the street lights, came on your name, right? But I think if we start with our young girls and cultivate what we're talking about and help them to understand that they really are and really do have control of their life and the choices that they make, and not compare themselves to other on social media, that it's okay. It's okay where you are right now. As long as you said you tend that soil, you pull out those weeds, you visualize, you meditate, you use positive affirmations, and you try to keep your thoughts positive over negative. Now, I know growing up it's hard because there's so much going on, but the ladies in the 20s and 30s and 40s, we do the exact same thing and we get stuck. So it's very, very powerful. Okay, well, time for one more question, or here's something else I want to share. What are some practical steps that we can take as bold, unstoppable women that ensure our thoughts are really aligned with the reality we wish to create? And besides tending to our soil, what else can we do to not only empower ourselves to keep our thoughts the way we want our life to be, but to help another sister, another queen to do the same?
Do you want us to all go around and just share like one
Yes.
step?
Yeah, let's do that.
So I know one of the practices that I do, and I teach my daughters this as well, is you know how on a computer, when you make a mistake or when you do something, you can hit Control Alt Delete and it all goes away. I do that with my mind. So when that negative thought comes, when that oh my God, I look fat today. Oh my God, I'm having a bad hair day. I don't assign anything negative to me, but because 80% of what we say is negative, so I have to Control Alt Delete. Cancel, clear, delete. I'm canceling that. And then when I hear other sisters do it, when I hear other women do it, cancel, clear, delete. Says, no, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're beautiful. Don't you speak that into your life? So I use it, and then I also give it to other women to use.
I love that. What about you, Captain Renee?
So one of the things I agree with Tamika, but another thing, I think environment is also a big factor, right? So the environment that you're in, even at home, like she used the example of the computer. You could be frustrated at what you're doing. Take a moment, pause, go do something else, change your environment. And I believe that is a very big impact. That's worked for me, even in relationships, or just situations at work. You know what, I'm going to take a walk outside because right now this space is not conducive for my energy. Like, so just shift your position. Tony Robbins talks about it all the time. Just shift your position. So that's one of the biggest things for me, environment.
I love it. And taking a walk really does help. It really,
Yes,
really does
yes.
help. What about you, Aisha?
The simple act of just committing to your self-improvement, to your goals, realizing that with the commitment, you can't be afraid to fail. If you fail, you get back up and you keep going because you're committed to your growth. Also, there are going to be days where you're going to need to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to go yell if you need to do that. It's doing the things with commitment that we don't want to do, and that includes facing our fears, for the commitment of making yourself a better person, better human being, or whatever our good goals, better goals are for ourselves.
Oh man, I love it. Thank you, ladies. This has been a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And as I said, when I opened up, we were going to hit it hard. It was going to be sweet, but definitely impactful and full of lots of nuggets of gold. That is what being a bold, unstoppable woman is about, at least in my definition. Today, we help each other. We help lift each other. If you're down, girl, I'm gonna pull you up. And if we both fall down, hopefully somebody comes and pulls us both up. But it's about that support and uplifting and empowering each other to overcome obstacles, to shatter those ceilings, and to create realities that reflect our deepest desires and our highest aspirations. For each and every one of you, I aspire that you get everything that you desire, everything that makes your heart content. And those of you that are watching it and listening to us, the same, because when we put out that energy and we throw out those thoughts, you never know who it's going to affect. And you never know that something you said that you thought was so insignificant, good, bad, or indifferent, has the power to change other people's lives. So if you're listening to us, you're watching us, try to always stay positive. I know it's hard because it's like going to the gym after you've been there 20 years, you know, you got to work some muscles, it takes some time. But try that. You know, if a negative thought comes into your head, try to rephrase it as a positive thought. Try to rephrase it as something that you actually want to happen in your reality. It's constant work. It's constant work, but the nuggets of gold that come from that constant work are unsurmountable. So thank you, ladies, for being a panelist on
Thank
the
you,
Bold
Rochelle. Thank you, everybody.
and
Yes.
please share this with everyone. So now, as we get ready to close out, here's some couple things I want you all to do, watch and listen to us too. Here's how you can stay connected and join the movement. You can follow us and share this show on social media. You can definitely join the community, the Bold Unstoppable Women's community. Share your journey and your challenges, and don't be afraid to share your triumphs, and because you never know, that might inspire others. Your story might be a lesson for somebody else that they needed to hear at that moment in time that completely changes their life. Let's amplify our voices, and let's let the world know what it means to be a bold, unstoppable woman unapologetically. Attend our events like this, or tuning into the show is huge, because again, it's only just a few moments in the day, but these few moments with these wonderful panelists has the power to do some really, really good things in your life. And lastly, I want to say, I want you to remember that you have the capability to craft the life you've always dreamed of. One thought at a time. Take that one negative thought and change it into that one positive thought. And each time that happens, just do it. Take it one thought at a time. And also, ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward with intention, courage, and unwavering belief in our power to create change, because we do have the power. We just have to recognize it and realize it and tap into our heart and soul where that power lies, in being the catalyst for the change that we want to see in our lives and others. So thank you once again for joining us. And until next time, keep nurturing your mind, enriching your soul, and creating a reality that resonates with your deepest desires and the deepest orgasmic desires of your heart. I can't help it. Here's to our journey towards wellness, wisdom, wealth, and being unapologetically brave, bold, and unstoppable women, and creating a world by which we are the catalyst for beauty and the beauty of our thoughts as they create the realities of the life that we want to live. Again, thank you, ladies. It has been a pleasure. It's so good to see all of you. Stay connected, ladies. I talk about community connection, collaboration. You never know what opportunities may lie with the four of us that we just gonna blow stuff up.
Yeah.
In a good way. Maybe I should. Anyways, until next time, thank you all for joining us on the Brave. Thank you all for joining us on the Bold Women's Show. And if you're a brave sister, thank you for being here too. Share this with everyone you love and subscribe to the show so you get advanced notification. Okay, I'm Rochel Marie Lawson, the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. And until next time, may you be bold and unstoppable and allow those positive, yummy, orgasmic thoughts to create absolute dream reality in your life. Bye, y'all. Yes, yes. Bye.